Hi, how are you? Did you have a good week? Were you busy? The weather was a little crazy. It was freezing in the beginning of the week. It was really hot yesterday, and now we're back to maybe a little bit normal. I like normal. I do. This week is known as Holy Week. So yesterday was Thursday, and Thursday we came to church at night and listened to the story of the Passover Seder, that Jesus told his disciples what was going to happen to him. And so we learned a bit about the relationship that Jesus had with his disciples, and how they understood some of it and didn't understand others' parts, just like all of us. And now tonight is Good Friday. And Good Friday is the one holiday, the one thing that we don't celebrate, but we remember. And it's not the celebration that Easter is, and it's not the explanation that Maundy Thursday is, Holy Thursday is. What it is it's the actions that led to Jesus dying. And it's an amazing story. So I'm going to read from Isaiah. Now, Isaiah wrote this thousands of years before this even happened, but he kind of knew what was going to happen. This is Isaiah speaking. The Lord says, "See, my servant will act wisely." The servant being, I'm pretty sure, Jesus. "People will greatly honor and respect him." Many people were shocked when they saw him. His appearance was so damaged he did not look like a man. His form was changed so much they could barely tell he was human. And I'm guessing this is after he was beaten and had to carry that cross. But now he will sprinkle many people. Kings will be amazed and shut their mouths. They will see the things they had not been told about my servant. They will understand the things they had not heard. Who would have believed what we heard? Who saw the Lord's power in this? He took our suffering on him and felt our pain for us. We saw his suffering. We thought God was punishing him. But he was wounded for the wrong things we did. He was crushed for the evil things that we did. The punishment which made us well was given to him. And we are healed because of his wounds. We all wandered away like sheep. Each of us has gone his own way. But the Lord has put on him the punishment for all the evil that we have done. He was beaten down and punished, but he didn't say a word. He was like a lamb being led to be killed. He was quiet, as the sheep is quiet while its wool is being cut. He never opened his mouth. Men took him away roughly and unfairly. He died without children to continue his family. He was put to death. He was punished for the sins of my people. He was buried with wicked men, and he died with the rich. He had done nothing wrong. He had never lied. But it was the Lord who decided to crush him and make him suffer. So the Lord made his life a penalty offering. He will see his descendants and live a long life. He will complete the things the Lord wants him to do. He will suffer many things, but he will see life and be satisfied. God said to his son, "You have to suffer. You have to hurt. You have to be afraid." And I'm pretty sure they all knew this before he was born. It's kind of the point. Isn't that the point? This is from John 18. When Jesus finished praying, he left with his followers. This was Thursday night, I think. They went across the Kidron Valley, and on the other side was a garden of olive trees, and Jesus and his followers went there. Judas knew where this place was because Jesus met there often with his followers. Judas was the one who turned against Jesus, so Judas led a group of soldiers to the garden. Judas also brought some guards from the leading priests and the Pharisees. They were carrying torches and lanterns and weapons. Jesus knew everything that was going to happen to him. He went out and asked, "Who is it you are looking for?" And the men answered, "Jesus from Nazareth." Jesus said, "I am Jesus." The men moved back and fell to the ground, and he asked them again, "Who is it you are looking for?" "Jesus of Nazareth." "I told you I am he. So if you are looking for me, then let these other men go." This happened so that the words Jesus said might come true. "I have not lost any of the men you gave me." The soldiers with their commander and the Jewish guards arrested Jesus. They tied him and led him to Annas. Simon Peter and another one of Jesus' followers went along after Jesus. And when he went there, one of the girls at the door said, "Are you also one of the man's followers?" And Peter said, "I am not." He denied it, which I kind of get. We had to learn from this. And the simple thing that we had to learn was Jesus had to go through all of this suffering, probably because he had to suffer all of our pain. He took it on himself. So all this pain that I talk about all the time, all this fear, is nothing compared to what he had been through and what was going through. And he had to do that so that we could be forgiven, so we could be with God. Not just in heaven, not just in church, all the time. All the time. I looked up, what do we learn from Good Friday? And there's James Martin wrote 5 lessons of Good Friday. And the first one is physical suffering is part of life. Jesus was human. He was also divine, but he was human. He had to suffer. And so do we, because we're human. Emotional suffering is a part of life. Yeah, well, we know that. Fear, anger, sadness. That's the suffering of emotions. It's part of life, along with the fun stuff, laughter, love. Suffering is not the result of sin. Sometimes it is, if we make a decision that's not right. But for the most part, if you get cancer, it's not because you were bad. It just is. And Jesus knew it. You know, in the Gospel of John, he met a man who was blind, born blind. And his disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" And Jesus said, "Neither this man nor his parents sinned." That's the thing. You could suffer, you could be sick, you could be anxious. It's not necessarily something bad that you did. It just happens. It's just life. Jesus didn't do anything bad, but he still suffered. Jesus is fully human. He's fully divine, but he's fully human, meaning he feels the pain. He feels the anger. He feels the anger. He feels that, which we know because he flipped over those tables, those money tables. He feels the fear. He felt the fear. When he was praying, he asked God if he could do it, can you stop the suffering? And he couldn't. And so Jesus got it. He's very smart. He's fully human. So he feels all the pain, all the fear, and still went through this. Still did this for us. And suffering is not the last word. You don't just suffer and that's the end of it. There's a light. Easter Sunday comes. So what do we learn from this? We learn that Jesus was just like us. And if that's true, which I do think it is, then the suffering isn't forever. And it's normal. It's not forever. And we know that. But all of this, Thursday when he told his disciples he had that communication, Friday when he went through all of that pain that is so bad, I don't want to make you crazy with it, but I can't even imagine. And then the celebration, he's back. And not for nothing, he really is divine. He really is from God. There really is a God. How cool is that? How cool is that? So what do I think that we learn from all of this? I think we learn that maybe this is all true. That it's really there. That Jesus was really there. He really suffered for us. But he also came back because he was not just human. He was also fully divine. Which means none of this is for naught. None of this is, I'm starting to talk like I'm a Bible, aren't I? None of this is that we learn from everything. We learn from everything. And we're learning from this. And the thing we need to learn is that not only will God listen, but we have a job to do. And that's to believe it. We got to believe it. How much more do we need to have put in front of us? You believe it, you celebrate him. You celebrate God, we celebrate Jesus. Right now we're crying with him. Right now we're a little bit afraid with him. Today on Friday, Good Friday. But on Sunday, we're going to celebrate. Because he doesn't suffer anymore. And he came back. He came back for us. All that suffering, all that stuff he went through, he still came back. So that's what we need to learn. It's not just about praying. It's not just about, you need to do it, but it's not just about God's going to take care of us. It's about what is our job. And that's our job, to believe it and celebrate it and remember it and teach it. So let's learn from this and know that Jesus was one of us and also God. How cool is that? Have a great Easter and have a loving Friday. And I will see you next week. I love you. I miss you a lot. We will be together soon. Take care.